All right, new week, new documenting the journey. Welcome back. On this channel, I document my journey building my e-commerce brand, Exchange Life. In the last 30 days, we did 68,000 euros in sales, which is 23% down from the last 30 days before that. The goal is to get it to 10 million a year, so come along with me on my journey. I document it all here on my YouTube. I'm sitting here in Bali right now. I just arrived. We'll get into that as well later in this video. So in the first part, I will talk about everything that's going wrong and right with the brand, and yeah, basically everything about it. And in the second part, it's my life outside of the brand and any personal development. So let's get into it. So I talked to you guys before. I have my laptop here with all of my updates, that a creative agency started. They basically deliver me 5 concepts every week, with 3 variations, so 15 new videos per week, 15 new creatives, also static, so also images. We just did the first batch. There might be 1 or 2 winners in there. We'll see. The rest is not working very well. But one thing I already learned is like a testing structure for my meta ads, because before I only had my scaling ads, and I just duplicated any new ads in there with the post ID. And then basically, if they got spent, then they got spent. If they didn't, then they didn't. But now I'm first testing the creatives in separate ad sets. So just in an ABO, 1 ad set per concept. The only variable is, for example, the hook. There can only be 1 variable. Otherwise, you don't really know what you're testing. See what the winner is there, and then duplicate the winner of that into the scaling campaign. If it gets spent in the scaling campaign, you can turn it off in the testing ad set, and then the others can get some spend too. And you might have 2, 3 creatives that are a winner per batch, right? Maybe 2 different hooks are both a winner. So then you can get them both into the scaling ad sets until they spend money in there, and then you turn them off in the testing. So that's basically what we're doing, testing different types of creatives. So based on competitors, based on some own IDs, statics, videos, GIFs. My products are custom. So yeah, there's all kinds of different things that you can do there. And test is even, for example, you have an image that is just static, and you have the same image with the countries on the products changing. Maybe one will work, maybe one will don't work. So, you know, it can be anything really. So that's really cool. So far, the process has been really interesting. So I'm learning a lot from them. I'm trying to get as much information as I can from them, to learn as much as I can, because I think in December I was already talking about, like, I don't really know what I'm doing with the creatives, is kind of freestyling it, and what they do is very interesting. So basically I work with a creative director, I work with a media buyer, and I work with some editors, like in their team. So this is their team that is working on me as a brand. So I can learn a lot from them. Like, what can you look at on creative based on data? Like, what can you learn from it? And then iterate on there. Like, for example, this hook works, but this hold rate doesn't. All right, then we'll use the hook in the next batch. We'll change out the middle part of the video, and then, for example, we'll use the same CTA. So they basically split each ad up in 3 parts. I'm trying to learn all of this, how to iterate, what to look at, what to reuse, what to fuck off if it doesn't work. All of these things I'm trying to learn from them. So at some point I can also input my own good winning creatives. Well, that's the door. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm just trying to learn as much as you can. I really think that you can leverage agencies very well if you do it right. Either learn from them, take their knowledge in-house, or solve a problem that you cannot solve yourself right now with them, and then at some point take it in-house. Maybe for creatives, you can always keep an external agency for different input. Who knows? There's a lot of brands, bigger brands, 8 figures, that work with 2 or 3 creative agencies and their in-house team. And it's all different inputs of creative. So who knows how I'll figure it out in the end, but yeah, I'm already learning a lot from them, and let's see if they can produce some winners. I'm still gonna have my own creatives in there, testing against their creatives, see if I can outperform them. Because if I outperform them, even though it might be freestyled, then who cares? I'm better. I don't know. I don't care if it's based on data or not. But if I want to make it consistently scalable, then I probably need to be able to look at some data, and so I'm trying to learn all of that from them. So that's an update about the creative agency. I will keep you guys updated how that goes. I also had a comment on the last video asking what agency. With these things, I think for the future, it's good for me to first test it out myself. If it works for my brand, then share the agency. And then I can do some kind of affiliate deal with the agency and only share shit that works for me, and also make revenue from the videos from affiliate deals like that. I think that's like a cool thing. So I think I will share more things in the future if they work for me. Otherwise, I'm not going to share it, right? I just want to tell you guys what works for me and share what works for me and refer what works for me. So that's kind of what I'm going to do with that. I found a new shipping provider. So some of my items are shipped from China. We had some delivery issues. We had some delay issues, all of this shit. So I found a new shipping provider that has network in China and also in Europe. They can ship very fast, like 6 to 10 days from China. My products are very light, so that is great. So really excited to see how that goes. I hope that solves some of my deliverability issues because, for example, reshipping an item that doesn't arrive is just a fucking waste of money. It's just, you throw away money. So it's a very important problem that I hope to fix this way. I'm going to be launching about 12 new products, different kinds of jewelry pieces. We have rings, we have earrings, we have some new bracelets. Basically, I think one of the ways for me to scale is to introduce new products, not just better marketing, but new products. So maybe a visitor that didn't convert before would convert if, for example, you have the same design on a ring. So gonna be launching about 12 new products. I'm working on all of the creatives that we need on the site for that, or content, product images and shit like that. So hopefully that will be done pretty soon. We'll see. The performance is picking back up a little bit. If you looked at the graph, I also, by the way, will include a little photo of some products I'm working on. Pretty excited. If you look at the graph for my performance in the beginning of the video, you'll see that it's like going back up a little bit, which is good because it was going down for the past 2-3 months. Still relatively low spend compared to what we were doing in, for example, last year Q4, but I guess this is part of the game. This is the first full year for me that I will be running ads, so I kind of need to figure out seasonality as we go. This might just be part of the game, that every Q1, Q2, it goes down and then it goes back up. That might just be the niche, the product that I'm selling. There's so many different variables. So I'm happy to see it will go back up a little bit, and whatever that bottom line is, it will go back to. It will raise itself, right? If I get better, if I get more products, then next year it will be higher than this year, but there can still be a dip every year because of market conditions, for example, or giftability, seasonality, all of this shit. So that at least it's good to see that it's picking up a little bit again. So hopefully back at maybe 5K days soon, we'll see. Working on some good upsells for the products. As I told you guys, I made a friend in South Africa that did something similar. He shared a lot of good ideas, and one of them was different kinds of upsells to increase the value of a single product instead of having only increase the AOV by introducing new products. You can also increase the AOV by increasing the price of the current product, right? So if someone buys one product, then they can add this, they can add this, they can add that. So I'm working on that to increase the AOV. Let's see how that goes. Just keep an eye on the site. I think I'm just gonna always talk about I'm working on these things, but only show what it is exactly when it launches. So then it's already out there. You can look it up anyways. So working on that. As you know, as you see, I've arrived here in Bali. It's been nice so far. Way different than the previous times. Here it all started for me. So it's really good to be back, a little bit more level-headed, a little bit more clear and chill, and I don't have to fucking figure something out or I can't pay rent. So the vibes just have been really good. I've just been on my own timing, working a bit, as you can see later in this video, outside, inside, meeting some people. Yeah, just really doing what I feel like doing, which is really amazing. This place is really good if you can just do that. But yeah, I've been meeting some new creators here as a point that I wrote down. I think Bali is like the perfect place to find creator girls that can help you create ads and UGC and stuff like this. So meeting some new creators, I'm gonna have some products shipped out here, so I can have some shoots with them. So yeah, just the fun thing that comes with it, meeting pretty girls, and they're good at creating content. So it's gonna be interesting to see if I can find some good creators there that can help me create winning ads again. Later at the end, I will share a little bit of the structure there with my ideas to scale to 8 figures. So I think with 4 inputs, and I'll share it later, I can do that of creative. Let's see. The new site is coming along great. I have another clip later in this video where I show you some of the progress of the site. I'm at a point now where I think I can share some of that. Gonna be fucking sick, to be honest. So much has changed on the site. It's gonna make the offer way more clear. It's gonna make the brand way more hitting, and everything is just going to be better, hopefully also for the AOV. So I'm really excited to launch that. Yeah, it's a long process. Probably took me about 2 months to get to this final design with an agency. Again, if this goes great, I'll also share that later in the video. But I'm really excited for that to launch. I have a new learning about triple whale, which is what I'm using. So before I wasn't really sure what attribution model do I use. Should I use triple impact, triple attribution? There's like 6 different ones. And the one I chose now is triple attribution plus Facebook views on recommendation of the agency. The agency runs ads, creatives for multiple 8-figure brands. They do it this way, so I guess I'm just gonna do it this way. I think my main goal is net profit, so let's see if this will help me maximize net profit. Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm also not sure about my main goals yet. I'm all figuring this out along the way with you guys. These things I will talk a little bit more about in the Q&A videos that I will do once a month, where people ask like, what is the goal with the brand, this and that, because it's not really an update about what's going on, right? But that is also things that I'm thinking about. Where do I want to take the brand? Why? This and that. So I'll mention or talk a little bit more about that in future Q&A videos. Let's see, what more did I wrote down? Distractions in terms of ad platforms. So I told you guys my goal is to get the brand to 10 mil a year, 10 million, which is about, let's say, 800K per month. You can do this on Meta, in my beliefs. There was a guy here asking me like, why don't you do these ads? Why don't you try Twitter ads? Blah, blah, blah. It's a distraction. In my opinion, you can get to 10 mil a year with just Meta ads, which is Facebook and Instagram. I just haven't figured it out how to scale it to that level yet, which is what I'm doing right now, which is what I'm sharing with you, all of the learnings. So no distractions for me. I think I'm gonna do it just with Meta and Google. So I also run Google. I'm gonna see, I have a freelancer now working on my Google. When the site launches, I'm gonna see and do some audits for the account, because then I think I will have more scalability because the offer is more clear. But yeah, I think there's also some skill on Google that you can outsource pretty easily with some good people without being as distracted as with other platforms. So let's see how that goes. But I think I'm gonna do it just on Meta and a little bit of Google, probably like 80-20 spend, 80% of spend on Meta, 20% on Google, but we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys updated. I created a new system to prevent refunds. So I was going through all of we track everything, right? I was going through all of the refunds. We had a lot of refunds. So I was thinking, how can I fix this? We created a 2-level system now. There is a customer service rep, we have a customer service manager, and then there's me. Basically escalating the ticket up if a customer isn't happy, to prevent and to get more personalized help for the customer. So now basically there's one level, which is the 2 reps, and then there's me. So if a customer is really unhappy, it gets escalated to me, and I take it from there and solve it personally. I wonder if I can teach this to, for example, the customer service manager. I think I can do. I just haven't figured out yet how I can really systemize this for him, because it's more abstract. You kind of need to feel the vibe of the customer and play into, you know, their issue and really think about what you're gonna say, and then you can help them and make them happy. It's different each case. So yeah, I don't know. I think I can at some point let him do this, but for now I'm doing this maybe like 10 emails a day, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I'll just take that for now to minimize the refunds. Last thing about the brand, Advantage Plus was always working for me, but not really anymore. I can't seem to find winners that can get skill on there. So there's creatives that work when they get 100 euros per day, but then as soon as they are getting 500, then they just don't work anymore. The solution for that, I figured out, is to the creatives that work on a lower skill, but not in Advantage Plus, when you give it like 500 euros per day, is put them in a bid cap. And for example, I have different bid caps. So I have like, for example, 35, 34, 33. And some creatives, you get them into all of them. And then some creatives get spent in 35, and then you can turn them off in the others. Each bid cap performs well with a different creative. That way you can still maximize that creative that can work on a lower spend, because Facebook only spends on that creative in a bid cap if it thinks it can get a customer for X amount. So then you can still use that creative and get some profitability out of it, but you just cannot spend with it. And then you need to get Advantage Plus to perform consistently on higher budgets. Otherwise, you cannot scale, right? so far, I've not learned yet that you can really scale on BitCaps, because they only spend when they think they can spend, and for example, they spend like 10% of the budget. If you want to go to like 10K a day in an Advantage Plus campaign and spend, you just need good creatives that are consistently profitable. So yeah, I just cannot really find any creatives that can handle that scale right now. And again, that can come because of seasonality, because the creatives are bad, etc., etc. But I'm trying everything, I'm working on everything, I'm optimizing everything. So I told you guys previously that I'm thinking of 4 different inputs for the creatives that can get me to 10 mil a year. And the way I want to do this is have an external team, for example, an agency, create creatives with their own inputs, their own ideas, their own concepts, their own iterations. At some point, we can recreate this team in-house, but for now, like this, I'm working on seeing what processes I can set up to do the same thing the external creative agency does, but then in-house. But for now, it's nice to do it with an agency. Then I have an in-house editor that can look at competitors or similar brands and copy the concept and create it with our own footage and request footage needed to copy the concept of an edit of a competitor. Then there is the creators, TikTok girls, for example, that create their own concepts. And then there is me that comes up with ideas as well. So then there's 4 inputs of creative. I think this is what I need and is enough to get to 8 figures or 10 million a year, but let's see, who knows. So that really is everything about the brand. The brand started for exchange students. A community also grew when I couldn't make ads work back then. For 3 years, I was working on my brand without it being able to work, so I created an organic community. It is now mainly monetized by an affiliate platform, which is a separate business, which is mainly focused on exchange students. The brand now is wider for people with 2 homes. I'm still leveraging the community for the brand in different ways, like for example, finding creators and leveraging it for content. But some updates about the community as well. The content is back on getting some traction. I told you guys previously that we started posting again. I hired someone, or actually I got someone involved in that part of the business that gets a percentage of it to really get the most out of the community. He's doing a great job. So the content now we're posting back consistently 2 times a day. It's getting some traction again. And the ambassador group, so the ambassadors that help us create content, also for the brand, is growing quickly as well. We're at like 20 ambassadors now or something like this, which is very good and valuable. So that is great. Really love to see that that's back on track again. I was really not focused on the community, but that's a shame because there's a lot there that we can do and that we can create and how we can monetize it. So it's great that he's making progress now. And yeah, it's looking good. So that is the updates about the community. That's basically it about the business this week. I have some really nice clips after this about the brand, about other things, about some realizations. So make sure to watch those as well. I think they might be very valuable for you in your journey. So yeah, comment. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know if you like this video. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Send me a message on Instagram. I love to see them. And I'll see you guys next week. All right. I hope you hear me well. I'm just sitting here on my laptop, doing some of the final check-ins for the new website. So I told you guys in some of the previous videos that I'm working on like a complete new redesign of the website. A lot of it is going to be hard-coded. It's going to be very interesting to see. Thank you. Trying coffee. Coffee here in the tropicals. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what that does for conversion rate, what that does for offer, AOV. I think in general, like we did a big customer survey at the start of starting the redesign about what are the biggest objections, why did you not buy, why did you almost not buy, why did you buy, and then we got some of the biggest objections together to basically figure out what to take into the new design. So I can give you guys a little sneak peek already and explain what is still missing now. So one of the biggest objections, there's people questioning for who is this? So my brand started for exchange students because I was an exchange student. At some point I realized I need to widen the target addressable market. If I want to scale bigger, right? I need to be able to sell to more people. So this became people with 2 homes. So one of the biggest objections was people saying, for who exactly is this? I'm not an exchange student and now I feel like it's for students. Can I buy this? So how are we gonna tackle this? Let me guys show you right here. So as you can see, this is gonna be the homepage. there's going to be a few things that will change still. For example, this will be removed. These are now the different categories, and I'm not really sure how to visually show it with the images, so I think I will just remove it. Then it says here, bridge the distance, and made for, and then this will be a ticker. It will say travelers, exchange students, immigrants, and then people can exactly see for who this is. Now, I wasn't really sure yet what to put here, for example, but I think I'm gonna put here some sort of map animation that shows to capture the memories and feelings. And then if you look here now, it's pretty like on brand, right? So you can see the blue, you can, like, it's a nice vibe. But I got feedback of one of my friends that, hey, like the it element for like maybe something shining through what the brand is for is missing. So what will we do? We will add some like airplane illustrations. So in the middle here will maybe be like an airplane trail with a heart to really capture that, like, you know, feeling for traveling and like expressing something like that. Really try to take the brand in there, some sort of like illustration or feelings of how to do that. And I'm not really sure yet how, but I think I will do this with these paper airplanes and some sort of like illustration that captures the travel feel. So yeah, little sneak peek of the new site, so you can kind of see what I am working on and what this will look like. This will be fucking awesome. I'm really feeling like it's turning into like a real brand now. For some reason, I just want something that looks cool as well. Even though, for example, some of my friends are doing big figures, 6-figure profit months, and their site looks absolutely shit. It's just for converting. But I don't know, for me, I guess I'm just a little bit of a nerd, or like I said, a creative. I want it to look cool too, so hopefully this will convert better and have a higher AOV, and also then automatically look better because it's the new design. So yeah, I'm just sitting here now working a little bit in this little cafe. It's really good vibe. In the mornings I try to go out a bit. It's not the best for productivity, but I guess life is not all about productivity, right? I'm also here, you know, I want to meet people, I want to get out of the house, and yeah, so in the mornings I try to get out of the house, get a little coffee, drink it, do some work. I'm doing some creative work today, get a little bit more inspired here, talk to some people. And then in the afternoon, around like 1 or 2, I go back home and I sit in the air-conditioned room where I can be like productive and like get shit done, you know what I mean? So yeah, just a little part about the site. Quick one here that I wanted to share, because we talked about it in the last video, how I wasn't sure sometimes if I should always speak my mind or, you know, kind of watch what I have to say and stuff like this. So yeah, I kind of had another realization about this that I wanted to share. So previously I thought I will only not speak my mind and completely be like raw with my parents and my little brothers, because I care more about the relationship with them than, you know, what I have to say or changing their mind or like proving a point, you know? And some of my childhood friends. But yeah, what does that look like? And I was talking with a friend about this because, for example, if I really care about you and you're a friend, then I will keep hammering on a point until you either convince me that it's like I'm wrong or that you're wrong. I'm very like straight up, like, you know, I want someone to understand something or change a belief about something or that I think is valuable for them, right? Like I'm hard on myself like that and also on the people around me. But that's not good for some people. And if you always just speak your mind like that, you know, about stuff that people don't say or usually just hold back, then, you know, some people don't like that and some people do. But if you always do this, you filter people around you. You only keep the people that are really real with you and that are like okay with the way you are. So this is good. But for some people, you want to stop this because you care more about the relationship than you do about the other things. Like you don't want to filter them out of your life. Family, old friends. So I kind of was thinking, what does this look like? Like, how do I behave around those people that I care more with the relationship about? Because I've realized that I will not change anything that I say or think or do for random people or new people. It's good actually to filter them out, but for some people I will. And what will I do for them? So I made a mistake recently. And basically, you know, we were having a conversation about what his girlfriend wanted to do with his life and stuff like this. And for me, it was like funny, you know, like I keep hammering on a point or like trying to convince her or something. And then at some point I said something like that I thought was funny or like to like kind of hammer on something, like it was about freedom. And then it was like, she wants to do some European thing, and I was like, that is like hell, you know. If you want freedom, then working in the European government is like hell. Which for me might be like funny or you know this or that, they're proving a point, but then for her it's just way too harsh, you know. And I realized that, you know, we were already on this point for like 20 minutes or 10 minutes. I kind of realized back then, okay, I don't need, like, she's also on the list now, you know, for that. But what do I do? It's not hammer on a point and do not say your opinion or whatever if they don't ask for it. Because my opinion and my view of the world might be very harsh to some people or very confronting or, you know, I really think differently, like I talked about a lot of things. And my bubble, people are exactly like that. Like my bubble is so, it's such a bubble. Like all young people building businesses, making money, and the way you view the world is so different than from people that are in like the normal world bubble. Not to say it's better or worse. There's probably plus and minuses to it. But I only realize this when I speak to people that are not in my bubble, and I realize that, you know, it's just such a different world that you need to kind of be subtle with the things that you say, or like kind of angle them differently instead of just like you normally do with your friends that are in the same bubble. So I kind of realized, you know, those are the two things that I will do with the people I really care about more than I care about, you know, sharing my opinion or proving them wrong or wanting to convince them or change their life. Because I might think it's a good thing to change their opinion about something, but maybe it will only push them away. So again, for those people, I will only say my opinion if they ask for it. Of course, I will always be honest. I was talking to one of my good friends about that. That was in the previous vlog clip. Like we do like weekly call and like talk about everything that's going on around the weekly. And this was one of the topics. It's like, how do we handle people we care more about than to keep in our lives forever? And yeah, so we do not share our opinion if they don't ask for it, and we don't hammer a point. Like we are not gonna try to convince them of anything. But with new people, not like that, because new people can be filtered. Like you only want to keep around very solid new people that are like aligned with you, right? You don't want the people that cannot handle your, I don't know, honesty, or like my circle is like starting to become some real killers and they are all like that. But I also want to keep some people around and I don't want to push them away. And by doing that, I would push them away. So I made a mistake and that's okay. Well, like it won't happen again. I'm getting older and more adult and I'm learning things. So it's kind of for me still figuring out how to deal with all of this, you know? So that I just wanted to share that because I talked about it in the last video, and this is kind of how I'm going to handle that. And then secondly, it's a big point for young entrepreneurs, right? Like distance yourself from your old friends and change your people around you and change your life. But bro, like do not just fucking cut off all of the friends that actually care about you, even if they're not entrepreneurs or wanting to make money, bro. Like fuck that. Like there are some people that actually give a shit about you, childhood friends. They are way more important than like cutting them off, people that care about you, is not going to help you make money. I went through a period as well where I was alone a lot and I kind of didn't join them to parties and this and that, but there was no resentment. I'm not just going to ignore them anymore because they go to parties. Like they actually give a shit about me. Some I only saw when going to parties and, you know, I didn't saw anymore after that. But some, you know, they still made an effort to come to eat with me or to come make dinner with me or through this like dark period. If you go back to my videos, you can see me talk about it a lot. Also, there's one video, episode 0, week 0, where I was recording videos because I wasn't daring to share them on YouTube yet. And this was during that period, just in my room all day alone. And there was like maybe half of my friends at the time, like good friends, so maybe 3 or 4, they still made an effort to come and eat dinner with me. They still made an effort to come and talk to me. There's no point of cutting those people off, even though when you're eating dinner with them, they are not like figuring out how to make money either. Like some people, it doesn't all have to be like that. You need people in your life that actually give a shit about you and care about you. Not everyone has to be like some young fucking entrepreneur dude. Like then you're gonna be left with only new relationships when you cut out all of the old ones, and you're just gonna be lonely at some point. I don't think that's very, it's dangerous these days with all the extreme social media opinions with people saying like cut out everyone if you want to make it, this and that. It's definitely not needed. You can, you know, take time for yourself while still caring for the people that care about you. Cutting them off, it's not gonna make you any more money. It's just gonna make you feel lonely. And then, yeah, of course, you stop hanging out with them more if you want to like go another way, but you can still be nice to them and talk to them and care about them and like go out to eat with them. Like, not everyone has to be, yeah, doing exactly the same like you are. It's also just good to have people in your life that love and care about you without any extra. Like that's enough. Like that's enough reason for someone to be in your life. Genuine care and love from like when you were younger, you know? So I just wanted to share that real quick. Maybe you're at a point where you're like, what do I do with my old friends, this and that, but that's kind of my opinion on it and how I am going to handle it. New people, it's good to filter. Old people that actually love and care about you, or you care and love for, then act cautiously. It's so fucking hot and humid here, by the way. It's a cool place though, but I'm definitely not used anymore to this fucking humidity, bro. I'm sweating my ass off all day. So in the mornings I go to like cafes and get a coffee outside and talk to some new people, and in the afternoons I usually just go home and sit in the air conditioning so I can get like, you know, some useful work done. But I'm visiting one of my friends here. I didn't tell anyone I came here. I'm just surprising people. It's really enjoyable. Like I'm starting to build some good connections that I can see everywhere I go, and this time around I really feel more at peace and comfortable here. And yeah, previously when I just started traveling, it was all so stressful because I had to meet people, I had to figure shit out. And now I'm kind of like doing my own thing, and I don't have to do anything. I don't have to talk with anyone. I can just do my own thing, and it's so much more chill. And yeah, really enjoying being here this time around. But the humidity, like, look at me, it's like a mess, don't I? All right, quick one. I just wanted to share that I realized what these videos also will do, and I've always been talking about it, but yesterday talking with a friend when I was at dinner, it kind of clicked even more. You are a unique personality, right? I don't know why I'm always trying to convince you guys to also make videos, but I guess that's part of my videos. You are a unique personality. I am. For example, I told you guys before, I'm like seeing myself more as like a creative entrepreneur, for example. And everyone that you will meet is probably not fitting in the part where you are exactly to your personality that fits whatever you like, whatever you do, etc. Probably 80% of the people that you will meet do not completely fit you or your personality or what you want to do or where you want to go, right? Even if you're in places like Bali, where I am now, for example, still, if you're in a bubble like this, it's still going to be hard to find people that completely fit the way you are. And one of the things that I realized that I'm, you know, thinking these videos help a lot with, especially in the future, is that instead of finding those people, you will attract them. Because this way, I'm basically leveraging myself, right? Like me, I'm talking to the camera, and a million people can view it. I only have to do my story once, so I'm leveraging myself. Which means that in the future, people that will like what I have to say will come to me. People that like what I have to say probably fit with who I am, my opinions, blah, 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 blah. And they are quickly gonna be in that 20% of people, you know, 80-20 rule. 80% people probably aren't really your type, 20% will be. This way you attract that 20% because you share your ideas, you share your opinions, you share your values, your norms and all of that shit. People that connect with it, send it to other friends that they think connect with it, bum, 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 bum. You get messages on Instagram, you start talking, you start meeting some sick people. You attract those people that you have a very hard job of finding in the world. Even if you go to the bubbles where they are, like Bali. A lot of the times here, I'm still feeling the same as before, where it's like hard to relate. Even though you are in a bubble with entrepreneurs or this or that, still, the chance that they exactly fit the things that you're looking for and people in your life, etc., is small. So content, what can that do? A lot, like I talked about, but I don't think I made this point yet, which is you will attract people. You will attract the people that are meant to be in your life because they see you. Before you know them, they get in contact with you, and then you can chop it up from there. So that's just a quick one I wanted to share that, yeah, I think it's maybe looked over quickly. little bit about my routine here. So in the mornings, I try to now go to different coffee places just to figure out, where is a nice place to sit and where can I meet some people, because still around here you can meet a lot of people. So it's not all about being productive, right? So I should just keep going out and meeting people. And for example, I'm living with a guy and he's like, I'm fucking bored, this and that. He's making good money, but fucking bored, and it's because he's sitting inside all day talking to no one. So in the mornings I go out, I try to talk to some people. Maybe I can meet some cool people. But luckily with a little bit less stress than before, so I can chill a bit. I don't have to talk to everyone, but I'm still like a people's person, right? So I enjoy them. And then in the afternoon I go back home and I try to do some, productive work, because it does get quite hot here and humid, and you can only be that productive from coffee shops, right? So I'm now in this little coffee shop here. As you can see, there's a lot of different people here, and I try to go to like a different one every day. So who knows who you meet. In Bali, you never know who's who. So always good to get out there, put yourself out there, and smile at people, laugh at people. Because again, like in last video, you never know who's who. Quick little tour of the house. It's a nice little place. Little pool right there. Table to work on. I'm looking here on the screen so I can like show you. There's a table. We work here during the day. My room is in here. Simple room. And then there's another room over there. It's really simple. Really just cozy place. Just like what we need. I mean, I don't need anything else, to be honest. That was it for this week's Documenting the Journey. So please subscribe if you want to follow my journey. Like and share with your friends. Send me a message, comment, everything. And I'll see you guys next week.